ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the 149th episode of the Political Spotlight. I am your host, Kristopher H. Bilbrey, the always amazing, always spectacular, wonderfully good-looking, and intelligent and funny and charming host of the Political Spotlight. For those of you that are wondering, I also grow my hair like none other. I did get a haircut this morning, but I just grow hair so fast that by this evening, it looks like I didn't cut my hair again. So, no, in all fairness, I did not get a haircut today. But you know, I don't know if I'm going to or not. Everyone keeps talking to me about how much they like the long hair. No, my hair's out of control. It is wild. It is, it's too much, and I need to get a haircut. Unfortunately, it's not going to be tomorrow. Tomorrow is not a haircut day because we have too much going on. Wednesday's not a haircut day because we have too much going on. Thursday. I promise to you this. Here we say it. This is going to be it. Thursday, I will get a haircut. And Thursday evening, when we go live here for the last night of the show of the week, Thursday evening at 9 p.m., you can tune in and we will have a haircut. We've just been doing too much politicking, man. There's just been too much politicking going on to worry about haircuts. So it's been a little crazy. Things have been going a little wonky. But let's see here. Commentary on. Okay, got that done. So before anyone goes crazy and wonders like, hey, what's happening? I do want to let you guys know I am alone tonight. And by that, I mean, Kate is not in the duck. Kate was a little under the weather and had to call off from work tonight. So because she normally is good about, you know, she doesn't call in and she does really well with that. I said, I think we can give you a night off, you know. We're going to really have to dock your salary, but we will give you a night off. So that's why, ladies and gentlemen, things are going to be a little slow tonight. As you've seen, I've not put up any of your comments. I've not done that or done anything that I needed to do there. Haven't even looked at the comments here in just a moment. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to get to the comments here in a second. We're going to look at some video, and I've got to talk about two different election board meetings today. So for those of you that have been following along at home over the last couple days and weeks and months or years, for some of you out there, here's the thing. Today was Monday the 26th, and if you're watching live, it's still Monday the 26th. If you're watching in repeat and on your own time, on your own convenience, then it's whatever day it is for you. But this was recorded and live streamed on Monday night, February 26th, 2024. And there were two election board meetings today. Meeting number one was Henry County, and it was at 1:30 p.m. today. Meeting number two, also going on at the exact same time, was Madison County, at 1:30 today. I have been saying for the last few days that both of these meetings were important, but I felt that it was probably more important for me to go to to Madison County, because I felt as though out of the two counties that the Henry County Election Board was election board that I felt more than likely would do one and or two things, would apply common sense to their decision-making ability and follow the law. Okay? And I thought that Madison County would be an absolute and complete shit show. Okay? And I'm going to hold you off, and I'll let you know what happened here in just a moment. Before we get started, I do want to say, yes, I think today is, Audie said he's had a couple birthdays in his family today. My grandparents have said happy birthday to Audie's family. Today's my nephew, Kane, in all the way over in Sicily. Today's his birthday. So happy birthday to him. I do want to say before we get started, I guess we could change this to a more than like a grandma update. This can be like a let's see. This would be like the grandparents. Oops, I see what we did there. Man, what a pain it is not having Kate. No, I'm just kidding. I can do this stuff in my sleep, but it is also cool having her. But everybody deserves some time off. So a quick grandparents update. Grandmother is still, doing the things she needs to do in the hospital. She's doing well. I think we're going to be getting her into another rehab facility tomorrow. I think tomorrow or the next day, it's a much better place. And she's probably legitimately, with everything going on, she's a little over halfway. I know it seems like it's been like 25 years, but today is literally just the third week. It's the start of the third week. So honestly, she's doing better than what I thought she would be at this point. She's very well put together health-wise, mentally, and both my grandparents are in really good shape for their ages, and they're still young. They're a young 80, both of them in their 80s, but they are very active and whatnot. And so she's doing well. My grandpa is out of the woods, I think, with the norovirus, and I missed it. I'm going to say this. Please, dear Lord, I pray, help me have missed the norovirus. I was a little gurgly yesterday, and I took 2 shots of Imitrol, and it kind of helped me, but I've been all right today, and so I think that I'm out of the woods, and we'll just hope that, I'm protected from that, because I do not want to get that, and I do not need to get that, because we have some important dates still this week. Election board meetings tomorrow. Tomorrow, the election board meetings are as follows. Randolph County, Tuesday the 27th at 9 a.m. And then at 10 a.m., the State Election Commission candidate challenges will start. And then Wednesday, part 2 of Delaware County's election board meeting will kick off at 1 p.m. So tomorrow, Tuesday the 27th, is Randolph County at 9 a.m. The State Election Commission kicks off tomorrow, Tuesday the 27th at 10 a.m. And at the state, they will hear challenges for state-level candidates and federal-level candidates. So There are a couple challenges against Trump, and there are a couple challenges against Biden. They will both be heard tomorrow. And then there are several challenges scheduled for other officials, state representatives that are running. And I real quickly, I'll show you kind of what we've got scheduled here. Pull this up here, and I'll show you like this. So you can see right here on the screen, this is the Indiana Election Commission public session notice. Indiana Election Commission will convene a public meeting at 10 a.m. on Tuesday, February 27th at Conference Room B, Indiana Government Center South, 402 West Washington Street, Indianapolis, Indiana, pursuant to Indiana Code 514 1.5-5. Agenda, call to order, determination of quorum, documentation, compliance with open door law, approval of the September 22nd, 2023 Indiana Election Commission minutes, campaign finance ratification settlement agreement to approval of orders from previous commission meeting, candidate challenges. First up, they will have a commission motion to dismiss Bartlett v. Carter, okay? And then they will go straight into the challenges. First up, we will see Kester v. Trump, and then we will move into Whiteley v. Biden, and that's quite possibly the Whitley that is having all of this issue with Rob Kendall with WIBC and everything that's going on down there. He's having some campaign finance issues, and so it'll be interesting to see what goes on there. He kind of pops up everywhere. He is basically insane, and that's just my personal opinion. The quicker and the better that that Gabe Whitley goes away, the better off. And if anybody has questions about that, and they're like, "What? You don't like him?" I can explain it all to you, but I'm not going to do it tonight. So here are the challenges for tomorrow at the state level. Now, so there are several of them. Okay, so we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. So we have 30 challenges, and that will take easily a good 4 to 5 hours tomorrow. We will be live streaming that meeting here on the network, here at the Political Spotlight. If you're interested in watching this, we will be live streaming it, and it is worth the watch to see how the Indiana State Election Commission handles it. And here's a little tip for everyone that's watching it. They handle it just as screwed up as Delaware County and Madison County and Randolph County and every other county handles it. They're no better. They're no more special. They're just as screwed up. They think that they're more powerful than what they are. And it's really a detrimental to citizens being able to run and citizens being able to choose. This is a horrible process, okay? I just want to put that out there. So that's that. We'll be live streaming that. Randolph County's challenge tomorrow. They are challenging one person tomorrow. Randolph County, this is insane. All right, this is insane what's going on. Tomorrow, okay, they are challenging in Randolph County one candidate. And it's the Republican Party chairman, Ben Wells, who is challenging the candidate. And the candidate getting challenged is Karen Wilkins. We've had Karen Wilkins on the program here. Karen Wilkins was a candidate last year. And I'm going to tell you what the issue is, okay? Did I get a permit to place my mic? That's the first That is the first comment that I've seen, and we'll get to that in a moment. That's comical. I love it. So here's the thing. The person getting challenged tomorrow in Randolph County is Karen Wilkins. Karen Wilkins has always, to me at least, called herself a moderate. All right. She's probably more left-leaning than I am. All right. But she's called herself a moderate. She says that she is conservatively, fiscally conservative and socially liberal. I would consider myself I believe in personal freedom. I believe in personal responsibility, and I believe that the government should leave us the hell alone. So outside of that, I don't care what you do in your life. Don't bother me, and I won't bother you, and we'll be just fine. Taxation is theft. So whatever side of the whatever spectrum you want to put me on, up or down, left or right, that's what I believe. I believe in the Constitution. I believe that the Lord God is my creator, and that listen to me, folks. I've been listening to this, so I've got to tell you something. We're going to just pause all this local politics for a second. I am losing my mind. Something is going on, and I can only say that it's the end of the world. It's the end times. I mean, I believe that. I'm going to tell you why. Just because people call themselves Christians don't mean that they are. The term Christian nationalist, that's such a weird term. Maybe people are. I don't know what that is. It's kind of scary to me. I just consider myself, I love America. I love my country. I believe in the Constitution. I follow the Constitution. I want the Constitution upheld. I have a relationship with my God, and I follow that, and that's it. I'm not trying to push my beliefs on anyone else. I have no problem talking to you about my beliefs, but I'm that's between you and your maker. Okay. That's that. Something's going on right now on the national level where we got people, they're talking, and there were some people that went to CPAC here recently, and they were talking about how they were wanting to tear down democracy. And I don't even know who it was. I saw it this morning when I woke up. They were like, we want to tear down democracy, and we want to replace it with this. Now, I don't know what he did, but I think what he did was he put out a rosary, or maybe he put out a chain with a cross on it or something. Okay, well, I could see why that would be maybe scary to someone that's not a Christian. It would be very scary to me if I watched that and someone, put out the Quran, or someone, I just don't think that on the national stage they ought to be doing that. We're going to talk here in a little bit about how John Sproles, the sheriff of Henry County, got up in a government meeting today and started chastising people who were challenging folks, and then started praying. It's very strange. Yeah, absolutely. It's not a democracy. It is a republic. I'm just letting you know what they said. Those aren't my words. They said, we're tearing down the democracy. That's what they said. I'm not saying that. That was not my words. I was reiterating what someone said. And then I heard the left side of that say, these people, like they were joking. They were like, these people literally believe that the Constitution, their rights came from God, and that they didn't come from like the government. And then they like kind of chuckled about that. Like we were really crazy because I believe that my rights did not come from a human. Look, you're a human. You came out of your mother, and you've eat and sleep and pee and shit and cry and hurt and bleed the same way I do. I can't give you any power or rights or take anything away from you. You can't do the same to me. My rights came to me from my creator. If you choose not to believe that's where your rights came from, that's up to you. You can also not believe that's where my rights came from. But you're not going to impress that upon me, as maybe I won't be able to impress that upon you. I don't know, but something really weird is going on with that, and I wanted to talk about that a little bit, because we are going to talk about this thing with Sproles, and it's really crazy and just really weird stuff's going on. Now, pulling it back locally now. So this thing is going on. Well, thank you there, David Williams. So this thing is going on. Look, we'll put this up. He said, well said. So I'm going to put that up. Here's this. I want to be saying this. So in this meeting today, okay, it's funny to me where are my rights? But where's Jack's rights? Dude, I don't know. Your rights are in your back pocket, I hope. And I hope you hold on to them very tightly. I feel like we need to hold on to them very tightly, because I feel like they're trying to strip them from us. So we need to continue holding on to them. So here's the thing. I did not hold out much hope for the Madison County meeting. First and foremost, I've got a major problem with the fact that, so just in case you do, maybe you do or don't know, I don't know. The election board in all counties are made up of 3 members. Your clerk, which could be Republican or Democrat, and then a Republican Republican member and a Democrat member. So if your clerk is a Republican, you've got 2 Republicans and 1 Democrat. If your clerk is a Democrat, you've got 2 Democrats and 1 Republican. Okay, that's important to know. The state election commission is made up of like 7 or 9, maybe 11 people. Okay, and that's what they're made of. It's an odd number, so there can be a vote. Well, the Republican and Democrat members can be the party chairman or party chairwoman, or it can be a designee. What I have always had a problem in Madison County with is the little moly one. That's Russ Willis. He is the Republican Party chairman of the Republican Party. He also challenges a bunch of candidates. He also sits on the board to hear the challenges, and then he wants us to believe that he thinks rationally and that he is being fair in making his determination. So that would be like getting pulled over by a police officer who takes you to jail, strips out of his uniform, puts on a suit, goes and writes up your charging information because he's also a deputy prosecutor, formally charges your butt, and then sets up on the bench as a judge. There is no way that what's going on in Madison County can be legal. I tried to call the Indiana Secretary of State's office today, but they were at lunch before we went, and it just dawned on me that he was doing this. It just dawned on me that he was doing this. I'm like, wait a minute. Why is no one making a big issue of this? Why has no one said this in the past? So, I'm trying to think what we need to do. First and foremost, okay, pause on the Madison County, and I'm now going to tell you about Henry County really quickly because rewind. I'm getting ahead of myself. Karen Wilkins, that's who I first started talking about. She says that she's moderate. She has been a Democrat. She's been part of the Democrat Party. She's being challenged tomorrow by the Republican chair because the Republican chair says she ran for Democrat last year, which she did. She's not denying that. And that she has been a Democrat precinct committee person. The problem is she voted Republican in the last primary, and she voted Republican in the primary before that. So she told Mr. Ben Wells that last November that she was going to be running as a Republican, and he didn't say one thing one way or another. So she's running as a Republican, and he challenged her. Now, I don't know why he's challenging her, because technically under the law, she's good to go. What's funny, and I want to tell all my people from Madison County this, okay, because I want you guys to listen. This has to do with Mark West's challenge. He is challenging her. I want you guys to hear this. He says, Wilkins is not a Republican in good standing. Willis is like, that's not what's on question here. Okay, that's interesting, because the Republican chairman in Madison County puts that right in his document. Wilkins is not a Republican in good standing. Ran as a Democrat in the November 23 election and served as the Democrat PC. Okay. The Republican Party at the state level wanted to make the law that you needed to vote in 2 primaries as whatever party you wanted to run. They did that because they were trying to help themselves out, because they were afraid that the citizens were coming to get them, and they were, and they stopped them, and that's a bunch of crap. Here's the thing. Where does authority come from, Bilbrey? Where did the people vote away their authority? I don't think, no, the people didn't vote their authority for what? Authority. I mean, in my opinion, it all comes from God. That all comes from God. Rights come from God. It all comes from the Creator. It's all outlined in the Constitution. It all spells that out there. In our founding documents. That was given to us. The Constitution doesn't give us our rights. The Constitution keeps the government from impeding upon us. Our rights are just given to us. No one gave that. We just have them. The Constitution and our founding documents are supposed to be protecting us from these mindless idiots. So back to Randolph County. He's challenging her because he doesn't like the fact that she has done stuff under the Democratic Party, but she has by law fit the bill to run as a Republican. So it's going to be interesting, but that's the only challenge that'll be heard tomorrow. So it's going to be, this meeting is going to be wrapped up in like 5 minutes. 5 minutes. So that'll be going on over there. I say all of the party chairmen everywhere need to go. We need to get rid of the party chairman everywhere. We need to get rid of parties. The party chairman at the county level, all they are is gatekeepers. They believe that they are the kings and queens that sit on the throne that allow people, we allow you to run. It's nonsensical. So that's what's going on with the Republican challenge in Randolph County. That's only one, and it'll be wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. It'll be interesting to see what happens there. Then at 10, we'll move into the state challenges. And so we'll be live streaming that here, and then we'll go from there. Then on Wednesday, we will get back into the part 2 of the Delaware County meeting. Now, from there, this Saturday, this is very important. Brandon is bringing it to our attention. This Saturday, legislative update at 9 a.m. in Jay County at the Jay Center. State Representative J.D. Prescott. Who's going to be there, Brandon? Who's going to be there? Give us a rundown on who will be there. I know that JD will be there, but beyond JD, I don't know. I don't know who else is scheduled to be there. Yeah. Holderman. Holdman should be there, Lehman and JD. So that will be a fun time. And I believe that Brando and I will be there. So we'll have to see what goes on. I know that JD is ready to hear from us. Oh, Holdman is the only one. Oh. Well, that's horrible. Okay. Well, so, all right, now we're going to move in to the Henry County meeting just briefly because I want to tell you guys what happened. And there were only 3 folks challenged in Henry County. So I want to tell you guys kind of what happened. So in Henry County, there were 3 challenges. Rachel Clark challenged Susan Hoon. Rick. I knew I would forget his last name. Brenda Grider. What's Rick's last name? I knew I would forget it. We'll see who answers me first. There's a couple different people that might answer me. We'll see who gets here first. Rachel Clark challenged Susan Hoon. Ha ha! Brenda's on it. I knew it. I just didn't want to say it. Rick Holder challenged 2 candidates. He challenged William Palmer and he challenged Cantrell. Listen to me out there in the world, everybody. And this goes to Sproles. This goes to Palmer. This goes to Susan Hoon. And this goes to Cantrell. I myself, Kristopher Herbert Bilbrey, I am saying that you all are Sproles plants. My phone number is 765-546-9796. Again, the number is 765-546-9796. If you would like to talk to me, question me, ask me otherwise, please give me a call and I will explain to you why I believe that you are plants by Sproles. So, Susan Hoon was challenged. She is running for commissioner against Bobby Plummer. She was challenged, and the reason she was challenged was because none of her paperwork had a date and time file stamp on the paperwork. It is as if she has never turned in her documents to the clerk's office. Well, we learned something. What we learned was The clerk's office has not date and time stamped anybody's paperwork. Not this election, not last election, not in the last 30 elections, not in the last 30 some years has the clerk's office ever file stamped these documents. They don't have a file stamp that can even do this. So I'm going to call the clerk's office tomorrow, and I'm going to ask them what we are doing to rectify this, because as set forth in Indiana Code 3-5-2-24.5, filing means the following. For purposes of filing by electronic report under Indiana Code blank, 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 when the requirements of IC Code blank and blank have been met, that's electronic, throw that out. For all other purposes, which mean paper, when the following have occurred: the presentation of a document to an individual required to receive a document under this title, the receipt of a document by the individual, the recording of the date and time the document was received by the individual. Okay? So they have to do this. So I will be calling them tomorrow, and I will be asking Jenny to tell us when she will be spending some moolah and fixing this mistake. And I will be telling them that moving forward, all paper need to be stamped. Or I'll ask you here in a second what your thoughts are on this. So that was brought up. Now, let me tell you, it's a good thing that Rachel challenged this for us to find this out, because this needs to be fixed. But because they have not filed anyone else's paperwork, the election board voted unanimously across the board 3-0 to allow Susan to be on the ballot. Now, let me tell you, I believe that that is the appropriate decision. I wanted Susan to not be on the ballot, and I want Bobby Plummer to stomp her ass in the election. And I think she will. I think she will. Okay? So hold on one second here. Hold on one second. Sorry, I was looking for a document there. Okay, so here's the thing. I will have to, I'm okay with what they did, because in my opinion, if anyone else had been stamped, date and time stamp, and Susan's wasn't, then they could have or should have kicked Susan off. But because they did not, I believe they made the right decision in keeping Susan on. It pains me to say it, but I want to do everyone fairly. All right. So let's keep that there. I think the election board made the appropriate decision. Moving on, Rick Holder challenged Palmer. And he challenged Cantrell, and he challenged them basically for the same thing. For not having initials. But let me tell you this. The best way to say this is, out of the 3 challenges, the Henry County Election Board kept all 3 candidates challenged on the ballot. Now, I do not like that. I'm not a fan of that because I don't like those 3 candidates. But basically, with the Henry County Election Board's decision today, they essentially said, look, we're not going to follow the law. We're just not kicking anybody off. So that might sound contrary to what I've been pushing all week, but it's not, because I have said they need to follow the law and apply common sense. And more importantly than any of that, they need to do the same across the board. There needs to be a standard. So, if the standard is the Henry County Election Board is never going to kick anybody off the ballot unless it's like a felony or, residency issues, like real reasons stand. But for all of the bullshit little floaty out, oops, here's an error, they have made a precedent today. They've said, we're not kicking people off the ballot. We're not following the law. No laws here. No laws here. So while personally I don't like that, because I wish that these 3 people were not on the ballot, personally. But big picture, I'm more than fine. Now, Dellinger will have to beat Cantrell. Clark will have to beat Palmer. And Bobby Plummer will have to beat Susan, and we can help them with that. Now, before we move on to Madison County, let me tell you the most outrageous thing that occurred today. Towards the end of the meeting, the sheriff of Henry County, who was there, and they're all saying, we're not plants. We're not plants. I don't know why everyone's saying that. Okay, but the sheriff was there. Who was the sheriff there supporting if he wasn't there supporting Susan, Palmer, and Cantrell? I don't think they realize that. Okay, I don't think that they realize that. And David Williams, you're exactly right. You're exactly right. No, and Catherine has nothing to be disappointed about, and I'm going to tell you why here in just one moment. Catherine did a hell of a job today, and Catherine's got nothing to be disappointed about. I'm going to tell you. Henry County, your sheriff stood up in an open meeting today in uniform and read a Bible verse and then was talking to people about, boy, aren't you glad that we as police officers show you more grace when we pull you over than you guys are showing these candidates? What? There's nothing wrong or illegal or underhanded about people challenging candidates. And John Sproles, let me ask you a question. Are you not listening to your attorney about your stupid ass behavior, about the behavior that's getting you in lawsuits? Dude, are you not listening? Like, I love that you are a constant content machine for me, but I'm even asking you, like, whoa, could you just kind of calm it down for a little bit? Like, just stop doing. I hate that he doesn't have the mental wherewithal to say, oh, if I want to go left, I should probably go right. If I want to stand up, I should probably sit down. If I want to open my mouth and speak, I should probably put my hand over my mouth. He needs to go back to the funeral home and stay putting them in collections and not the county government. Yes. 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 So I'm going to talk to more people about what Sproles was doing today and find out exactly what was going on, because he seems very, very out of line, and what he was doing today was very out of line. But just to be clear, we have a standard from the Henry County Election Board. We now have a standard. Next year is our off year in Indiana. Thank God, no elections. But in 2 years, very good possibility, Ryan. In 2 years, when somebody just throws a piece of paper up on the counter and says, hey, I want to run for commissioner, I put my name up there, I spelled it with a crayon, Henry County, better let them run with no issue, because if they don't, I'm going to be there to stick my foot up their ass. But as it stands, everything's going to be good. And we'll find out tomorrow about the date and timestamp. So as long as they date and timestamp things moving forward. Now, I do want to say for the record, they were doing the timestamp, or excuse me, the stamp on the can ones. So some people might have that, but that stamp still did not have a date and timestamp. So I'm going to ask them, force them, push them into purchasing a date and time stamp. They have to do that. They have to do that. Bottom line. Other than that, I think that today in Henry County, the election board made appropriate decisions. Okay? They made appropriate decisions today. All right, now, without further ado, we are now moving on into a really crazy election board, okay? So, the election board in Henry County started at 1:30 today. I had some things I needed to do, and then I had an appointment, and then I was going to meet a couple people. And so I got to Anderson at about 12:30. I was supposed to be there at 12. I got there at like 12:30, and I met with a couple people and had great interactions. And for the people that are out there that I met with, I want to let you guys know, well, one of you know, but for the gentleman that I met today for the first time, I very much enjoyed meeting you, and I can't wait to talk to you more in the future. And I'd love to have you on sometime. And I think I enjoyed meeting you. I think that you're a character, and keep on keeping on. And I was very proud to meet you today. So I want to say that. So we get to the Madison County Government Center, and we were there by like 10 after 1. So the meeting started in 20 minutes. So I got there plenty enough time to set my tripod up, to set my camera up. Now, I want to show you guys. This little thing right here is the award-winning microphone system that I have for when I'm live. You open this box up like this, like so. See these little lights come on? Okay, and then you've got this thing. You pull this thing out right here, and this little piece here, it connects to my camera or a cell phone or an iPad or whatever you would want to record. It can hook up to an actual professional camera. It can hook up to your cell phone. It's got all the various little hookups like that. And then besides that, it comes with these two really cool, handy dandy, small DJI microphones. Okay. One microphone here. Boop, boop, boop. Okay. And this microphone here. Boop, boop, boop. And you can put them together and it's good. Or you can put them in different areas around the room, however you want to do it. You can use one microphone. You can use two microphones, however you want to do it. Let me pause there. Yes, they do make really cool drones. And it's called DJI. DJI. You can use it with an iPhone. You can use it with a professional camera. You can use it with an Android. Very, very, very cool. I want to come back up here real quick to just say this. The election board should have followed the law and disqualified those candidates. As far as anybody else, they're not challenged and their candidacy should not be questioned. Yes, and Alva says, and the standard is we don't follow the law. I get you. I hear you. Listen, I have said for the longest time, I am in favor of folks staying on the ballot and allowing the citizens to decide. I would prefer for that to happen. I get where you're coming from, and you're right. But as long as that the Henry County Election Board continues to do the same thing, then I'm all for it. The thing is, when Todd Hyde, which is the Republican chairman there, or the Democrat chairman there, when one of them challenges somebody for some bullshit reason and the election board says, okay, well, we're going to kick these people off, that's when there would be a problem. But as long as everything is good and they don't do that, I'm fine with that. Yes, I would rather them follow the law. It is what it is. Okay. So that's I'll figure out what that is. Okay, we'll get that in a second. So, time will tell. We'll have to see what goes on next year. Also, keep in mind that the clerk's office is getting ready to change here soon. So things might change, and maybe we'll move forward in a different direction in a couple of years, and it will go to following the law. The bottom line is, as long as everyone's done the same, that's what truly matters. Okay, I want to get that out there. So I want to make sure that we don't get into a situation where they're kicking their Troy Ingrams off and not kicking, their Brad Bookhouse off. When we get into that situation, like Delaware County and like Madison County has, then that's a problem. Okay. So starting off, I'm getting my tripod out. I'm hooking my camera up. I'm doing my thing. I'm not bothering anybody. I'm in the back of the room. I take my two little thingies out. Sorry, we were having a problem there. I take my two little microphones out. I connect one microphone to the podium where the challengers and the challengees are going to be speaking. And I take one microphone and I stick it on the desk of the county council chambers commissioner's desk. And I go back to the back of the room. And I'm back there about 5 minutes. I'm back there about 5 or 10 minutes. We've got about maybe 5 or 10 minutes until the meeting start. And Russ Willis waddles himself up to me. I was thrown off by him. All I could see was those little moles everywhere. I was up there and I saw his moles, and he walks up to me and he says, yes, Chris, could you please move your microphone? And I'm like, is someone speaking to me? And I turn around and I I look down and I'm like, oh, hey, little boy. Yes, what did you say to me? He's like, yes, could you move your microphone? And I said, what microphone? And he said, the microphone up there on my desk. And I said, where would you like me to move it to? And he says, I don't know. I just don't want it up to be there. I want it to be way down here. And I said, oh, it's not in your way. You saw how little it is. It's the size of this cat, man. I said, it's not bothering you. He said, you need to move it or I'm going to move it. And then right there, I'm like, oh, I start like twitching and I'm like, whoa, wait, what? You need to move it or I'm going to move it? And I said, it will be fine. I'm now getting mad. I said, it'll be fine where it's at. And he said, I'm going to move your microphone. To which I said, respectfully but strongly, do not touch my property. And he said, I'm going to move it. And I said, do not touch my property. And he was then started marching his little butt up there. And I thought, oh, you're a little kid. I can get up there a lot faster than you can. So I got up there faster than him. And he said, I'm going to move it. And I said, do not touch my property. And then I was twitching and slobbering, because I would have slammed him. I mean, it's the only thing I could have done. I am a peaceful and loving character, but I gave him plenty of warnings to not touch me or my property. And he said, you don't own this stuff here. And he said, you're not in charge here. And I said, you're not in charge here. And so then he ran in the other room, and I'm not going to say what happened, but he got someone. I'm not going to dime this person out. And the person told him not to touch my property. So my property sat right where I put it, and it recorded his stupid little voice and his nonsense actions the whole time. And at the end of the meeting, I went up and I grabbed it and I said, hey, Russ, did my microphone bite you? And he said, thank you. I don't know why he thanked me. So unfortunately, there's 4 of us recording this damn meeting and none of us recorded this thing. So I'm going to play you the 2 things that I have as close to it as that I was able to get. Okay, I'm going to play you the 2 things that I have that are as close to being able to hear as much of this as you can. Miss Crooms started well after. She started recording right before the meeting started. So we were shit out of luck with her recording. But Catherine started recording probably the soonest. And then I started recording right after that. And you could still hear me mouthing. So I'm going to play you first off. I'm going to play you Catherine's recording. And you'll be able to hear kind of what's going on here a little bit. This is so hilarious. I feel so sorry for him. You know what? I wanted to spin his little beanie hat with the little thing on there and give him a lollipop, kick him in the ass, and send him on home to his mommy. That's kind of what I wanted to do. Okay. So, all right. I'm going to let you hear this. Ooh, what is this? That's February 9th. That's not what I want. What kind of nonsense you got going on here, Catherine? What is going on? How far back? I guess I needed to. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. All right, I needed to refresh my page. I was like, what in the heck? Okay. Today, yeah. Here we are. Here we are. Okay. So here we go. All right. Oh, ooh, there you see me pointing at him. Whoa, you see it? And there he's running. That is amazing. That's the don't touch my stuff. Now what you can see, you see this right here? I'm circling this. This is the microphone that he was afraid of. You see it over here? The other one's right here. So one of them is here. And one of them is right here. All right, here we go. We're going to start it. I'm going to start it as loud as we can go. Oh, you heard me say you're not in charge of anything.
So now he's run to get the sheriff because that's what he does. Are you serious? Yeah, I mean, why can't we record this? What a baby. What a baby.
Now you still working?
Windows are white.
You did?
Granted, while he was throwing his little bitch fit, there was a deputy in the back of the room. There's a retired sheriff in there. I mean, it's like, dude, you're gonna be okay, Russ. No one's hurting you.
Supposed to be 72 here Sunday.
See, there's the deputy right in the back.
Years ago, I went to was in Orange Beach, Alabama.
All right, so nothing else happens there. We don't hold on, let me skip forward to the very end and see if you hear me mouth him again.
Right.
Oh, he said, nope, appreciate it, is what he said.
Motion carried.
I said, did my microphone bite you? And he said, nope, appreciate it. Very good. All right, so that's what he said there. So now we'll jump to the next part of it here and see what we hear. Nope. That's what we're watching right now. Damn it. Hold on. Where are we at? Live? Oh, right here. I was like, what? I know. Okay, so so I turn my thing on right. Ooh, you might not hear me. I don't know. We'll have to see because I was now far away from the microphones, so you might not even hear me. I forgot about that. Let's see what happens. You have nothing to easily say private anyways.
Vote by the election board that those people can work the polls. Amendment, all those in favor signify. Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? So ordered. Thank you. The
Oh, I'm sorry. I have the
you can
card. I didn't realize
card
that.
in voter registration, and you came in on the 9th. I think I was in the room when you came in.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
You were. You're sitting right behind
So
me.
you went over and tried to get it resolved, but you hadn't gotten your mail that day, and probably by the time you got the mail, office would have been closed.
Yeah.
So in that pending period, no one can file for office.
Okay, so that's what that is there. So okay, yeah, don't touch my crap at all for any reason. Okay, so here's the deal. Okay. How does someone become people on this election board? Well, the woman here is the clerk. So she is there because of the sole fact that she was elected clerk. So the clerk is on the election board simply because they are the chief election official of each county. Then there is a Republican and a Democrat. Now, they are appointed by the parties. Generally, the chairman can do it or the chairwoman could do it, or they could nominate somebody to do it. The reason they normally nominate someone to do it, like in Delaware County, our party chairs don't do it. They appoint Pete Drum to do it for the Republicans, and they appoint, well, Ashley Nichols did it for a long time, and now it's Joe Hunter. They do that because during this challenge process, a lot of times the party chairperson will actually be challenging someone, and they don't want the challenger to also be the person who votes to either uphold or deny the challenge. That's just ludicrous. Okay? I mean, it's stupid. Absolutely stupid. So this woman that's walking around right here, I want you to watch what she's doing. She's walking around with a effing clipboard asking people to sign into this meeting. Now, Catherine, I'm going to be pissed. Did you sign into this? I bet you signed. Did you sign into this, Catherine? She came up to me and she said, "Would you sign into this?" And I said, "What is this?" Catherine, I haven't taught you well enough yet. Yeah, I know it's Mary Rutherford. I know who it is. She came up to me and she said, "Hey, would you sign into this?" And I said, "What is this, a contest?" And she said, "No, it's for you to be in this meeting." I said, "I'm not going to sign that. I need to sign that. I need to sign this to be in a meeting." She gave it to the old guy next to me and she said, "Would you be polite enough to sign this?" And I looked at him and said, "Don't sign that." And that old man said no, he wouldn't sign it. She was so mad. She was so mad. He was gonna do it, and I told him no, and he didn't do it.
Oh, yeah, gotcha now. Took me a minute.
I was mad about that too. The man next to me, I don't know if you saw that, Cindy, but he didn't sign it either. I was so happy. She does not like me. She does not like me. And I don't know why. Play your meeting right after they adjourn. I didn't think about it. I wish I would have told everybody. Listen, folks, you do not have to sign a paper to attend a meeting. They cannot make you do that. That is ludicrous. They have no authority to make you sign anything. You can attend a meeting without signing anything. You do not have to. Yeah. Okay. So we're getting asked to play this here. I'll play this.
It's well up there.
Thank you. Yeah. Hey, my microphone didn't bite you, did it? Very good. Yeah. Fucking asshole.
I didn't know I said that. I forget how clearly those pick up.
Ooh, you're real scary.
I forgot about that. I love Mike. He gave me some documents and I'm going to go through everything that he gave me. And no, hold on, wait a minute. I know, I was only calling him by name. No, I don't think it was Mike that didn't sign in. I think Mike might have signed in. And I was going to tell Mike not to, but Mike seemed like a nice, upstanding guy. It was the other gentleman. I have to think of what his name is. I'll have to see if I can see him in the camera. There was Mike. Mike was next to me, and then there was one more gentleman. I forgot. I don't think it was Mike. I'll have to go back and look. Wait, I think I have a card somewhere. Somehow I've lost his. Oh, I know where it's at. It's in the car. Well, we'll have to find that next time. So, okay, let me play some of this meeting, and I'm going to tell you, you can go through and you can watch this meeting. Oh, it wasn't Dan Paddock. No, Dan Paddock, when he got up to use the restroom or something, he did everything he could to bump into me, and it was very weird and very creepy. I don't understand what he was doing. I do not understand. It was very, very strange. So, okay, I want to show you guys a couple things here.
And the challenger and the challengee are going to be allowed 3 minutes to state their case. You'll be asked to state your name and your primary address. You'll take an oath. And bottom line, there will be zero tolerance of the rules for disruption or speaking out place. There'll be no warning, and there will be immediate removal from the room. First item on the agenda is the public test of the
Russ gets off thinking he has a little bit of power. Russ has no power. Russ is nobody. And let me tell you, I'm adding Russ to the Ed Carroll list. I am going to listen to me. I'm telling them I'm putting this out there. I have no proof of any wrongdoing or I'm not accusing anyone of anything currently. But I am telling you, I am going to do a masterfully massive deep dive into Ed Carroll and his doings as an auditor and as party chairman. And I'm going to be looking into Russ in his capacity as party chairman and as the weights and measures guy. And I absolutely can tell you this. If there is anything that they are doing wrong, I am going to push it as far as I can. And if for some unknown reason it is illegal and they can go to jail, that is my goal. My goal is to help facilitate them into a small cell behind bars if they're doing anything illegal. I don't know that they are. I don't even believe that they are currently. I got to look. It's going to take some time. Anybody else fits that same category, but I'm taking a special interest into Russ and a special interest into Ed because of the fact that they are party chairmen who also have other county jobs. And I'll be honest, I think that they are skimping out on those jobs. I have an opinion that they are doing things that they shouldn't be doing while they should be working. I think it quite possibly could be ghost employment. It could quite possibly There could be a lot of things that I'm just worried about, and rightfully so, because of the positions they hold and the governments they hold and the buildings that they hold them in, and it just simply it's just amazing how it ties right into what they do in their political boss power in that job, and the fact that they just so easily flow from one to the next. I've got a major problem with that. And if you're sitting in Delaware County and you don't question what's going on with Ed, or you're sitting in Madison County and you don't question what's going on with Russ, makes me almost question you. Like, what's going on with you that you don't understand that there might be some weirdness going on here? I think that we need to take a look at this. I think it's very, very serious. So I'm going to be checking that out and seeing what's going on. Okay, so I want to look at this here, and I want to point out a couple things to you.
For a unanimous vote by the election board.
For some reason,
The lady up here, there's a man here and there's a lady here, and they did not like her. She's an attorney. She's representing multiple different candidates. So listen to the first thing that happens.
Is registered as 8562 North 900 West. The address on the filing was 8573 North 900 West. So there's confusion there. The addresses have to match where they live and the voter registration. Mr. Antrim here.
Yes, right here.
Would you want to speak to that, sir?
Yes, I will.
If you would come up to the podium.
Is Russ a lizard person?
Now, he's passed these before, Russ has, and other challenges.
I think it's quite possible that he's a lizard person.
State your name and address, sir. Thank you.
my name is Garland Antrim. I live at 8573 North, 900 West, Elwood, Indiana. For some reason, the numbers was come in at 8562. I have an idea how that happened because our farming operation is on 8562 700, and so somebody someplace down the line got messed up, and so where I live personally is 8573.
That would be your voter registration address.
Yes, that is correct.
Is the 85.
Let's look at this guy's a lovely older gentleman. His attorney has a smile on her face. He's got a smile on his face. He's up here. He wants to do good. He wants to do something in the government and help people out and be a public servant. You know, he sounds like he's a farmer and he does a lot of good. I don't know this guy. Seems like a lovely gentleman. Look at just the absolute sourpuss faces on all of these assholes up here. Russ is an asshole. Tim Linnane is an asshole. And I'm not going to say that of the woman, but if there's any women out there that want to say, I don't know, I'm not happy with the clerk and how she acts and how she behaves. I've got a lot of issues with things that she said today. And one of the biggest issues I have is these boards will argue back and forth. They think that this has to be always a 3-0 vote. Look, vote. And if Tim doesn't agree with Russ, it can be a yay and nay vote, and the other person can be the tiebreaker or whatever. You don't all have to vote together. I'm so sick of hearing that several times. And also, she kept saying, we're talking to Brad King. He's our expert in this. Linda, Lisa, Lillian, I don't know what her name is, clerk. Quit calling Brad King. Call the attorneys in the Secretary of State's office. Call the attorneys to get your legal advice. Because she said some things today that I guarantee you, if she would have called Matt Kochevar or Valerie Warchal, they would have said differently than what her expert said, and I guarantee you, because I've spoke to them and they have said differently. So watch this. Watch how they treat this attorney.
8570.
That's the farm.
8573 is where I live. That's
Okay.
my voting address.
So you need to change your voter registration address.
Well, I don't know how it ever got changed.
On the
I've lived
first
there for 42 years. So
Understand?
I don't know how it got, other than the fact that we have a lot of mail going 8562, 700 West. So, somebody's got it messed up someplace.
Yeah, I understand.
Based on the evidence,
Tim Lanane's like, hey, who's this woman here? No, this is before the Supreme Court, and I need to know who this person is. Shut up, Tim. It's not that deep.
provided, if you look at
Oh, we need to identify this person here. We need to identify this person right here. Shut up.
Yeah,
certainly,
Russ is like, what? Who are you? Like, he didn't see her standing there when he's literally been looking at this person. They just, she literally passed documentation to them.
Mr. Antrim's counsel, Lorraine White.
She's this gentleman's counsel. Now, listen to what the nonsense they say here.
you're required to notify the board in advance.
You're required to notify the board in advance if you want to come, because we don't, we can't outpower the attorney. Listen to what she says.
If you're going to be representing him.
There was no rule stating I had to notify the board in advance. It said that the board could make that rule. However, when I looked on the election board's website, there was nothing stating that.
The whole candidate challenge, there's another administrative error, so the challenge is going to be dismissed. Are you
So he's allowed
satisfied
to
with
run?
that, Mr. Anthony?
So he's allowed
Yes.
to run.
Yes, I think so.
All right,
Okay.
thank you.
Kind of simple.
This election year, I think, is going to be the election year that breaks me. I am so sick. I'm just so sick of these detestable people.
The next challenge is Tina Reed. Is Tina here?
I am so sick of these detestable people.
The narrative for yours is that your voter registration was pending when you filed until at least 2/12, and so you're
He's allowed this to go
Filing is-
last time.
invalid.
You've allowed it and passed.
I'm Tina Reed. I live at 4437 Mellon Court. Super nervous. I'm not good at public speaking.
Relax, it's all good.
But I moved here from Arizona about a year ago to be with family, and my sister encouraged me to file for delegate. And so I realized on the 7th that, oh no, the deadline's on the 9th. I'm very big at procrastination, unfortunately. So I went to the DMV and changed my driver's license, and I went on the website, changed my address.
Okay, so they don't let her run.
No.
I'm going to move forward. I want to get in.
David Cunnington states that the candidate is considered to be affiliated with a political party only, and if the following applies, the two most recent primaries in Indiana in which the candidate voted were primary elections held by the party with which the candidate claims affiliation. If the candidate cast a nonpartisan ballot in an election held the most recent primary election in which the candidate voted, a certification by the county chairman under clause B is required. There was no certification by the party chair.
Lorraine White, counsel for Mr. Cunnington. Mr. Wallace has challenged Mr. Cunnington on the grounds that he, and I quote, does not have two consecutive Republican Party affiliation primary votes as required by IC 38274 AB and Indiana Republican Party rules. First, to clarify, the test in both the Indiana Code and GOP rules is not that a candidate has two consecutive Republican Party affiliation primary votes, Instead is whether a candidate casts
Wait, listen to this.
Republican Party ballots at the two most recent primary elections in Indiana, which the voter voted. I've attached the relevant language for the board as Exhibit 1. The record provided by Mr. Willis does not show any vote history in the 1970s. This vote history was likely destroyed prior to digitization. This means the only evidence the board has to rely upon is Mr. Cunnington's affidavit showing he is a devout Republican. As you're all aware, Indiana Code and the GOP Party Rule 3.3 renders the vast majority of Hoosiers ineligible to run for office based on their voting record. It makes it increasingly difficult when an issue occurs with the record that is outside the voter's control, such as a poll worker's failure to mark the correct party. Finally, these rules give a single party chair the ability to control who appears on the ballot at his or her whim. The resulting lack of choice at the ballot leads to voter disenfranchisement and an inability to cast votes effectively. The precinct committeeman office establishes a direct link between a political party and the voters in a local electoral precinct. Mr. Cunnington is interested in local issues and wants to provide a positive change by taking an active part in his community. Mr. Cunnington is the only person who filed for precinct committeeman in Anderson Township 2. I would also note, based on the information that we have, no one filed for precinct committeeman in 2020 in Anderson Township 2. And the Republican chair appointed Pete Fewer, who does not live in this precinct.
So here's the situation. Now, listen to what's happening. The gentleman that is running, that wants to run, is saying, hey, I want to run. I am claiming that I have voted, and I'm a Republican in good standing. I have voted, and the clerk's office is stating that I have not filed this. Russ hasn't proven or brought any documentation that says otherwise. They've not brought anything that says, hey, this guy's voted in a Democrat primary. He's not done that. So they are at a standstill. No one else has filed to run in this precinct. No one filed to run 4 years ago. So since no one filed to run, Russ appointed his friend to be in the precinct committee person, someone that doesn't even live in the precinct. So now here we have a gentleman who lives in the precinct wanting to run. Let's hear what they do.
But instead lives in Anderson 5-6. Here, Mr. Willis is clearly unable to show Mr. Cunnington's voting records for the 70s and has not provided the board with the evidence required to substantiate his allegations and meet his burden of proof, and this challenge should be denied. Mr. Cunnington would request that you deny the challenge by Mr. Willis and that his name remain on the ballot.
We are not here to debate the legislature's actions nor their justification for it. I would accept a motion from the board on action on this challenge. Yes, sir.
You brought, I take this as the affidavit you must consider. It doesn't say that he's voted in the Republican primary. It just says he is a lifelong Republican.
And that's what it
Correct.
says it has to do.
So the law is if you have voted in the most two recent primaries, if you voted Republican. That's not safe.
Correct.
All right, just to clarify. I move that the challenge be sustained.
I'll second.
Moved and seconded that the challenge of the precinct committeeman for David Cunnington be approved. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, motion carried. Next, we have a challenge to Mr. Cunnington's filing as state convention delegate. The challenge is based upon the same party rules, which I've outlined moments ago, state law and party rules. Any further discussion? I would accept a motion.
Move we sustain the challenge.
Been moved to sustain the challenge for David Cunningham on the State Convention Delegate District 2. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed? Motion carried. The next challenge is Rodney Belangi. Rodney here? State your name and address, sir.
Rodney Belangi, 3212 Waterbury Boulevard, Anderson.
Your 3 minutes begin.
Well, for what it's worth, I think there was a challenge based on.
Excuse me, is the microphone on? Red dot at the bottom.
Hello?
There it is.
Yeah. So I guess the challenge was based on not voting in 2 consecutive primaries. Interestingly, my wife reminded me that we always vote together.
Listen to
The record
this.
shows that we
This
vote
is important.
But mine doesn't show up. So that aside, I mean, if it comes down to if the intent of the regulation is that I'm a loyal Republican, I can tell you I grew up in Madison County, born and raised here. My father was, you went to Anderson High School, you probably know him. He passed away though, but they were lifelong Republicans. I've been a lifelong Republican, left after college, went to Texas, working for the Department of Defense, which there's not many Democrats in the Department of Defense. But anyway, so moved from Texas, the wilds of the California desert to Georgia, Colorado, and then as I'm closing the end of my career, I decided to move back to Indiana so I can be closer to home. And just thought I'd do something for the community, but get involved, something to do in my retirement years. And that's why I've applied, kind of like the background in my history. So I'll let y'all take it from here. I know the rules say one thing, but the intent is, am I a good Republican? I'll tell you, I think I am. I'm sure there's people that would probably doubt that Mitt Romney or Liz Cheney was a good Republican.
Now listen.
They go with it. She was not. So.
Welcome back to the community.
No, thanks, sir.
We have to go by the records of the registration.
It's more than rules, it's state law, it's a statute, and I don't agree with the statute.
Right.
It's the law, and we have to follow.
Is there a way around it?
And the law is there, but there's also the intent of the law.
And the intent of the law, that's clear.
No, this is what killed me. Listen to what this man just said. This is where I think this is what kills me. So, this man just said there's also the intent of the law. And they're like, no, the intent doesn't matter. The intent doesn't matter. No, you can't look at the intent. You can't look at the intent. And then when every one of their assholes get up there and they're at there and Catherine's like, hey, they didn't initial their things. Tim Linane's like, well, you got to look at the intent. And Russ is like, oh, well, we got to look at the intent. And they're nothing at turning down front's like, well, you got to look at the intent. And Linda's like, well, you got to look at the intent. The intent is there. Well, why is the intent not here with this gentleman? We either look at the intent or we don't look at the intent. And folks, you got to understand, this is why I don't have a problem with what happened at Henry County. Because Henry County was done across the board. Across the board. Didn't matter if I liked it or didn't like it. It was done. What's good for the goose is good for the gander. What's done here is it's okay for us and it's not okay for you. Now, I want to be real clear. This guy, because of his smart wit and his attorney, he beats this. He beats this because what happened is this gentleman voted in 1980 and 1982. And then he moved to Texas. And then he moved back. And he voted here in 2023. So his last two primary votes were 1982 and 2023. And he voted, hey, good night, Alva. He voted Republican in 2020, in 1982, and he voted Republican in 2023. The law doesn't say how long a time period should or should not be or could not be or whatever in between. So he's perfectly fine. So he overrules them. But I knew this is what I wanted because this is big. They say here, nope, you can't look at the intent. The intent doesn't matter. But then when it matters, when people that they want to keep, they're like, oh, well, we want to look at the intent. The intent is great.
No. A law's put into place for one reason. And what is that reason? Is the reason that
we either follow the law or we don't. We either follow the law or we don't. All right. Listen to it from here. Listen to this. Listen to this.
challenge based on
Microphone on.
I believe so.
Listen right here.
So I guess the challenge was based on not voting in 2 consecutive primaries. Interestingly, my wife reminded me that we always vote together. Her voting record shows that we voted in 2, but mine doesn't show up. So that aside, I mean, if it comes down to the intent of the regulation is that I'm a loyal Republican, I can tell you I grew up in Madison County, born and raised here. My father was, if any of you went to Anderson High School, you probably know him. He passed away though, but they were lifelong Republicans. I've been a lifelong Republican, left after college, went to Texas, working for the Department of Defense, which there's not many Democrats in the Department of Defense. But anyway, so moved from Texas, the wilds of the California desert to Georgia to Colorado. And then as I'm close to the end of my career, I decided to move back to Indiana so I could be closer to home. And just thought I'd do something for the community, way to get involved, something to do in my retirement years. And that's why I've applied. Kind of like that's the background of my history. So I'll let y'all take it from here. Now the rules say one thing, but if the intent is, am I a good Republican?
Intent.
I'll tell you,
Now listen to
and
Lane.
I'm sure there's people that would probably doubt that Mitt Romney or Liz Cheney was a good Republican, but I think they voted that she was not. So
Welcome back to the community.
no thanks, sir.
We have to go by the records of the registration.
It's more than rules, it's a state law, it's a statute. Now, I don't agree with the statute.
Right.
It's the law, we have to follow the law.
Well, the law's there, but there's also the intent of the law.
The intent of the law, it's clear, you have to have.
No.
There's 2 ways to qualify.
A law's put into place for one reason. And what is that reason? Is the reason that
We either follow the law or we don't. 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 What? No, why? Oh, sorry. No, I've been listening to this. That's hilarious. Sorry. Hold on. I thought you guys were watching with me. I've been watching the video all along, and I didn't see that was up there. Sorry. That's what goes up. That's what happens when we're playing 2 different videos that look the same. Sorry. We weren't frozen. I was watching the video. Nothing else was happening.
primary.
He
most
also-
recent Primary, which he voted.
He also voted in 2023, and the record provided to you by Mr.
Yes,
Willis.
that would be just-
Correct. Correct.
Not just for you.
Correct.
But there is no record of the
As an affidavit.
voting before 2023, and the records
Can't penalize.
statewide were digitized 2008, 2006, somewhere back then, not 2023.
That's when you voted was 2023.
If I understand the law correctly, the test is for the individual declarant for the office. The test is in the two most recent primaries that they have voted, did they vote in the party primary for which they now seek to hold an office? for the rest of them? And I think his testimony is he has.
Yes.
But there's no evidence to that in the system.
Well, there's no evidence in the system he's brought an affidavit.
Yeah.
And I don't know
I
about
see
the
that.
system. I don't know about the.
It's part of the paperwork that was provided to you as well, Mr. Willis.
I've never seen it.
Of course not.
I brought copies for each of the board members.
We have to rely upon the state registration system,
Yes.
not
I
state,
don't know.
not
I
state.
don't know
by
if Mr.
someone.
Richardson can clarify that or not. I mean, what's the evidence?
I'm not sure what else would be clarified, but the evidence I'm wondering about, and like I said, here, I have nothing to bring it out of me. What I think just curiosity is from 1982 to 2023, there's almost 30 years. Are there any, was there any effort to try and show that you voted Republican down at the
This attorney on the floor is so stupid.
They moved out of state, and the requirement in both the party rule and the Indiana code is that he voted in Indiana. So votes out of state would do us no good.
The way I understand the law,
Yes, Joe,
the only test is you
he did.
look at the person's two most recent primaries, no matter how much gap of
Right.
time is between those two primaries, if they voted in that party's primary,
Yes.
which they are
Yes.
declaring
The law.
candidates,
Doesn't
then
say
they're-
within 6 years.
Mm-mm. Yep.
We don't know what happened. in those years.
you don't know.
It doesn't matter. He signed an affidavit.
No, correct. The only record that you have now is Mr. Blondie's affidavit.
No,
We don't have 80 and 82,
And
right?
that's your county attorney.
You have an affidavit from the gentleman that says he did that, but we don't have any definitive proof that he didn't do that. I think with that, I'd probably willing to take the affidavit for face value.
Thank you.
An affidavit is a sworn statement.
Right. Yes, it is.
Need comment. It's all right.
we don't need comment from the
The
audience.
voters, right? They're the ones that's gonna vote on it, so.
I'm satisfied with proving.
My question is this, I mean, because there's twofold here in this situation. Did you make contact with the party chairman to ask for a waiver?
We did have a quick discussion, but I think he was saying that as far as he knew at the time, I was not qualified based on what he had read. So I
Oh, that's happened to me.
Yes, actually it did. He said you could provide a waiver if you wanted to, and he said, no, the law is the law.
And you said, is there a waiver because I was out of town? And I said, no.
No, those are two separate things.
Heard them all together in the same sentence. So.
What does that mean?
I heard them all together in the same sentence.
What I had to go by is the state voter registration system. And when you move out of state, they eventually, it takes 2 mailings and about 4 years before they can remove you from the system that they did. So when you move back, first time you voted, the only time you voted in the primary was 2023. So that's what I went on. In my mind, there is no proof. There's no evidence that you voted in the primaries in the 80s, and you may well have. I'm not questioning that. There's just no evidence.
And according to our council today, John, did I hear you clearly that you believe that the sworn statement, the affidavit, is what we base our, at least,
Well, there's
information
several
that we
lawyers
should
here
take into
tonight,
account?
Or several lawyers here today, and we've always been told that if it's notarized, it's an affidavit.
This guy's super happy, super duper hoopy doopy that he is an attorney. I'm talking to, he said that multiple times. Well, I'm just going to talk to the attorneys in the room.
Motion of action on this challenge.
I move to deny.
Okay,
So he's.
I'll second that motion.
All those in favor of the motion?
Aye.
All those opposed? Aye. Motion carried. Welcome aboard.
Russ said, "Welcome aboard."
Next one is Jeffrey Shoup.
All right, now we're getting ready to get off here, folks, because we've been jumping, but I'm going to jump ahead to some of the bigger ones
No.
as we move forward here. I'm going to jump, and you can go back and you can watch these. You can watch these on the meetings.
Indiana Republican Party rules to file and run as commissioner. Mr. Marquise, you care to speak?
I do.
Come on up. State your name and address, sir.
Marcus Higgins, 920 West H Street. First, I wanted to thank you for the opportunity to contest this challenge. Secondly, the challenge stated that I didn't comply with the two primary rule for the party. But I guess that two-party rule is more of a modest test. That is a state statute that is to establish whether or not I'm a Republican or my party affiliation is there. When I filed this paperwork, I did not check the two-party rule or the chairman approval part of it. And the reason why I didn't do that was because the chairman had already certified me in 2023 as being a Republican in good standing. So much so that I was able to run for the city council in District 6. So I didn't understand why I'm even being challenged.
So
as to what
follow what this gentleman's saying here. This idiot wrote down on a piece of paper certifying that this gentleman right here was a Republican, and a Republican apparently in good standing in 2023, which, if I can count on my fingers and toes, that was just 3 months ago. 2023 was. And he was allowed to run in the primary of last year. And, he was allowed to run. Now, I don't know if he won the primary, or people from Madison County will have to tell me if he was also in the general election. I don't know if he was in the primary and if he's in the election. I'm not really sure. I do not know, but I do know that he ran. I know he didn't win. Let me ask you, did he not win the primary? Did he only run in the primary, or did he run in the primary and run in the general and lose in the general? Did he? Which election did he lose? He was running for the district race against. He was running. Okay, so he was running in November. So he ran in the primary. He won the primary, or it was uncontested, and he moved forward into November as a Republican, and he won the race, or excuse me, he lost the race in November. This man right here, Russ, donated $500 to this gentleman from Russ's private account to the committee to elect Marquest. All right. He gave him that check in December 23rd or December 28th. I can't remember the exact date, 23rd or the 28th, one of those dates of 2023. So, you know, less than 90 days ago, this gentleman gave his committee, Republican committee to elect Marquest, a check for $500. But now, because Marquest is wanting to run for a commissioner, Russ is saying, nope.
Whether or not I was certified as a Republican in good standing. So I'm asking my party chair, am I not a Republican in good standing?
That is not the question here, sir.
But I'm asking you.
It is based on the law of two
Answer
primary
the question.
Republican votes and the state party rules. To run for office, you have to have 2 consecutive primary votes.
Answer the
It's not
question.
about in good standing with the
Oh,
party.
yes, it is. Oh, yes.
But I was certified
Mhm.
to run.
In
As a-
2023 and only 2023, as it's stated on the form.
How do you lose your certification as far as party affiliation from days or months from election to election?
You didn't lose it. It ended the end of 2023 as stated on the form.
I don't even know how he says that kind of shit with a straight face. Sometimes it seems like he's gonna like start laughing. Like I don't know how he said. And to be perfectly honest, I don't know how this woman could sit there next to him and like why is she not looking over him and saying like, hey, you are saying some really dumb shit right now. Like what is the deal with what you're saying? Why like Tim Lanane? What's this guy doing? He's watching a Star Wars episode in his head. This woman's like, when can I get my nails done? And nobody else is listening to the insanity. You didn't lose it. It expired. It expired when the ball fell. You became worthless to me.
I'm just trying to understand how do you lose
You
your
didn't
party?
lose it.
So I'm still a Republican, is what you're saying,
In good standing.
Yes,
in good standing.
at this time. No, as of December 31st. For this year, that's not come into question.
What's in question right now?
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
It's your primary votes according to law that's required for you to run for a political office. Just for clarification, I'm the one that filed the challenge in case there's a question.
And I guess that's
Did he have it?
that's what I'm trying to understand. You certified me last year,
Yeah.
but you filed a challenge against me this year. That
Because
really
you do
doesn't,
not qualify under the law.
but we're just addressing this particular challenge, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So listen to this. This is challenge for commissioner.
Anything else you care to say, sir?
I think I've said everything that I had in question.
As a reply, you do not qualify under the law for 2 consecutive Republican primaries. That's all there is to it.
But he was good enough last year. You gave him a check. You gave him a check.
So when you guys vote,
Okay, what are you saying here, Joe? How is it written? Do you have to have 2, or can you not have voted for the other party in one of the last 2 times you? No, it says you have to have voted. You have to have voted twice for it. You have to have pulled 2 Republican ballots or 2. If you want to run as a Republican, you have to pull 2 Republican ballots. If you want to run as a Democrat, you have to pull 2 Democrat ballots. Period. That's what they're saying. That's what the law is. That's what John Rust was fighting, and the fight is still ongoing. That's going to be heard in court. It's still not done yet. The decision is going to be made. They just put a stay in place so a bunch of people could be screwed over. That's all.
For the county commissioner,
Russ should not
will
get
you
to vote.
also be voting for
Russ should
the
not get to
other
vote. He's
two
my
challenges?
No,
Okay,
I said we're gonna look at this one individually.
Russ should not
versus
get to
county
vote.
political office versus the other two are party offices.
so I should wait for the vote? Do you want me
You
to?
can stay right there, it's fine.
Cool.
Do I have a motion?
Russ is like AI or something. He does not seem normal.
All those in favor?
He's not AI. He's not smart enough to be AI.
All those opposed? Motion carried.
All right. So they just kicked him out of being commissioner. So he cannot run for being commissioner. Now, he has also filed to run as a delegate and as a precinct committee person, and they're challenging him on all of those as well. So if David Williams is here, stay here, okay? Stay here, David Williams, because I want you to hear these other two challenges.
Now for Mr. Higgins,
I did. Yes.
we have precinct committeeman challenge.
Okay,
And
listen to this. This is now the precinct committeeman challenge. Listen.
6-2, and it's the same justification. He does not have two primary votes as required by law and Indiana Republican rules, which I've outlined and provided copies to the board members previously. Anything you'd like to say on the precinct committeeman issue, Mr. Higgins?
Yes, the Indiana state law that you outlined in the challenge it doesn't exist the way you have it called out. So I just wanted to note that error on this challenge and all the other challenges. It doesn't exist the way you have it listed. That's what I would want to say. I mean, you can verify that or not.
Well, it's a combination of the state law and then also Indiana Republican Party rules, which states that the law and their rules.
Just say that on the challenge. It says the statute, and then it also says state party rules.
State party rules says that the chairman has to verify whether or not I was a Republican in good standing. So as far as the party rules go, I think I met that test and passed it.
The Republican in good standing does not come into effect for the declaration of candidacy. It only comes into effect if you will be elected as a precinct committeeman or a state delegate.
But the precinct committeeman only requires that I have one primary that I have voted in.
No, it requires two. The Indiana Republican Party rule requires two consecutive primaries.
That's when I'm running for a public office,
That's,
not for a delegate or committeeman.
I have it right here if you want to read it, sir. State
No.
party rules.
No.
And the board members have been provided with that in documentation also.
Right.
Oh, look. Russ's phone started ringing.
Good thing I didn't say turn your phones off. Anything else, sir?
No.
And move the second to sustain the challenge for precinct committeeman. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, motion carried. State delegate challenge from Mr. Higgins based on the same.
So listen, he was kicked out of being commissioner, and he was kicked out of being the precinct committee person. Now, he is getting ready to hear the challenge for state delegate. If David Williams is here, this is big. Listen to this. Listen to this. Everybody who's also concerned with what's going on in Delaware County on Wednesday, listen to this.
Information. Statute requires two-party primary consecutive votes, and also Indiana Republican Party rules requires the same. Anything you want to deal with?
It's not signed and notarized.
It's not signed and notarized. Okay? I want to show you guys something. On the back of the can 1, or on the front of the can 1, there's a place right here where I, as a challenger, have to fill in all of this. Then I have to take it and get it notarized. The notary stamp's here. Here's the notary signature right here. Just as I'm challenging Brad Bookout. Brad Bookout's filing paperwork does not contain the notary's signature. And I right now am in a case of like suspended animation, as we're currently in the middle of arguing this from last Thursday, and then we'll finish it up on Wednesday in Delaware County. Now, in this situation, Russ has challenged the candidate, and it's not the candidate that doesn't have that signature, but it's actually Russ, the challenger, who he went to go have his challenge paperwork notarized, and the notary, or the clerk in that case, did not sign that document. And so if they go by the law, the challenge has to be thrown out, because the no signature there is fatal to the notary. And so basically, it's going to be interesting to see what they do here. They can do one of two things. They can keep the challenge and kick this guy off the ballot, and that would be in line with what Delaware County wants to do. Or if they say, oh, no, you're right, and they keep him on the ballot as a delegate, then that would go in my favor of what I'm trying to get done in Delaware County. So what do you guys think they're going to do? Are they going to uphold his request to throw the challenge out because Russ didn't get it notarized right? Or are they going to keep it? Let's hear.
This challenge is in the certification. There is no signature from the county clerk or a notary.
Yes. Yeah. Linda, I'll come back and tell you that.
I move we deny the challenge.
Second.
All those in favor? He doesn't want to appeal. We approved it, Mr. Dixon.
The other one didn't deny. The challenge was denied.
So they threw out the that challenge because Russ screwed up. He screwed up. So yeah, so that goes to my argument in Delaware County, and it's kind of funny. I do want to say this for the record. Performance of notarial acts. A notarial act may be performed by the following individuals: notaries public, an official court reporter acting under Indiana Code, judges and justices of Indiana Court, Secretary of State, the clerk of the Supreme Court, mayors, clerks, clerk treasurer of towns, cities, township trustees in their respective towns and cities and townships, clerks of the circuit courts and master commissioners in their respective counties, judges of the United States District Court of Indiana in their respective jurisdictions, United States commissioners appointed for any United States District Court of Indiana in their respective jurisdictions, a precinct election officer as defined by Indiana Code, and the absentee voter board member appointed under Indiana Code for purpose authorized under another Indiana Code, a member of the Indiana Election Commission or co-director of the Election Commission or an employee of the election division as defined under another Indiana Code, county auditors in their respective counties, county recorders in their respective counties, and any member of the Indiana General Assembly anywhere in Indiana. The Adjutant General of the Indiana National Guard, specific active duty members, reserve duty members, or civilian employees of the Indiana National Guard designated by the Adjutant General of the Indiana National Guard for any purpose related to the service of active duty or reserve member of the Indiana National Guard. The signature and title of the individual performing the notarial act in Indiana is prima facie evidence of the fact that the signature is genuine and the individual holds the designated title. So there are lots. So you have notary publics, you have notaries of the public, and then you have a lot of different other people who can act as notary without being notary, like judges, clerks. But here's the thing. We went through this last year, and the Indiana Secretary of State's office said this flat out. The clerk can file stamp and sign the document, and it stands like a notary, and the clerk's chief deputy can do it in her stead, but the other deputies in the office cannot. And that's something that we start running into here. What we found was just everybody in the office stamps Linda's paperwork and then writes their initials by it, and that does not fly, period. That is a misuse of what they're doing, and it can get their ass in a lot of hot water. And so I'm going to be contacting them about that. So what a laugh. They kicked this guy out of running for commissioner. They kicked this guy out of being a precinct committee person because he's not a Republican in good standing, but he's allowed to be a Republican delegate. So he can win the race, and he can go down to Indianapolis in June, and he can help pick the attorney general and the lieutenant governor for us to vote for in November. But he can't run for commissioner, and he can't run for precinct committee person. That is such a joke. That is so laughable. And that is truly what's wrong with this situation. And this is a great example of them not applying common sense to the situation.
Go, Cam. The previous,
And what just happened?
He just won.
So that's that.
If a candidate claims party affiliation under Clause B,
Here's
the candidate
Catherine.
must attach a candidate declaration of the written certification of the county chairman required by the Clause B. These two areas must be marked in order to confirm statement of the candidate complying with all requirements under the laws of the Indiana to be a candidate for the above named office. This applies to Joseph Colt because he has voted in the past. On the back page of the Can 2 form, he should have actually put a line through number 12, or simply put not applicable, knowing that that area has not been addressed. He has a signature date of 9/30/2005 as to when he signed this form. Therefore, this form is invalid. With the discrepancies between the two dates, it violates Indiana Code 33-4-2-13-3. Section 3, commission as a notary public does not allow a person to do the following: take the acknowledgement of a record without witnessing a signature or receiving acknowledgement from the principal that a signature is authentic. With the discrepancies in the dates from the candidate and the notary, one would conclude that the candidate failed to sign the document in front of the notary, which is a violation. Also, according to Indiana Code 33-42-9-7, Section 7, a notarial act may be formed by the following individuals. I do not see where a notary can assign the notary to another member, and they may use someone else's seal and stamp and just initial this under the code. So I do not even know if this is a valid notary according to Indiana Code. I do have those codes, and I am not an attorney. I practice medicine. Therefore, his form should actually be denied to be on the ballot because he has failed to answer the questions and complete the process.
Right on. Based on the primary requirement, I would move that we deny this filing and sustain the check.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried.
So Catherine won that. Joseph Culp was kicked off and is not eligible to run for county council. So Catherine won that challenge. She won that challenge because they did not do that. Now, I want to move forward here because here's where you're going to start hearing all of a sudden they start caring about intent.
And documents, as Ms. Smith has referenced on a video during the 2023 challenges. Today, you are being asked refers to any of the following. 1, an individual's given name. 2, an individual's surname. 3, an individual's middle name. According to Indiana Code 3-5-7-4, candidate's legal name, Section 4, for the purpose of the placement of a candidate's name on the ballot. Again, there's several challenges on here. He's got several areas. So, I mean, there's the code number. You can follow it, you can't. My biggest issue is he is saying that his name is Todd Cole. That's why he's going on the ballot, but he signed this document, Robert Cole. What is his name? Because if his legal name is Todd Cole, he should sign the document Todd Cole, not Robert Cole. And that's another section according to Indiana Code 3-5-7-6, subsection C. His signature is not written the same as what he is signing this. So if you go to see?
Okay, I did confer with our attorney on this one. Please.
Yeah, you actually have the code right, 3-5-7.
Boy, that made him feel like a big man.
1999, Indianapolis challenged it, went to the Supreme Court, and the statute's clear. Mr. Cole is okay with the way he's got it thrown out.
So you can put check marks and not put initials.
The check mark thing is a different one. You have to go back to the intent. You have to go.
You got to go back to intent. Remember, you got to go back to intent.
There's a lot of people that don't sign in cursive and can't print. They can put an X, they can put a check, they can put a.
He filled out his application in writing. Please don't insult me.
Well, he has marked every one of those boxes with a check mark.
I signed the wrong name.
But he did not follow the directions that says it must.
Listen to
have
this
the
intent.
initials.
The intent is clear.
The intent is clear. So the intent is clear here. The intent is clear. 12249. 12249. The intent is clear here. Okay. The intent was clear. All right. I want everybody to hear that.
It's only kept for 10 years, and anything older must be destroyed. The records provided by Ms.
At 82.
Correct.
So those would be I guess, for the office. The test is in the 2 most recent primaries that they have, which he voted.
Voting record. Yes.
It's for the
As I'm closing the end of my career, I decided to move back to Indiana so I can be close. And that's why I've applied. I think I am. I'm sure there's people that would probably doubt that.
Listen.
That Cheney was a good Republican, but I think they voted that she was not. So,
Welcome back to the community.
no thanks, sir.
We have to go by the records of the registration.
It's for the rules. It's a state law. It's a statute. Now, I don't agree with the statute.
Right.
It's the law. And we have to follow.
Is there a way around it?
And the
It's
law is there,
it's the law. We have to follow the law.
but there's also the intent of the law.
There's also the intent of the law is what the challenge the guy in the gray shirt said. The intent of the law does not matter.
No. The law's put into place for one reason. And what is that reason? Is the reason that
We either follow the law or we don't. We either follow the law or we don't. Period. We either follow the law or we don't.
I signed the wrong name.
But he did not follow the directions that says it must have the initials.
The intent is clear.
The intent is clear. The intent is clear here. I don't understand why it's clear here. And why it's not clear with this no-name guy in the gray. Now, I think it's probably because this guy is Todd Culp. That's why the intent's clear. Because here's what you're going to hear. For these next 3 or 4 challenges, it's all about intent, baby.
Well, okay. Well, we'll roll with that. Like you said, it can be challenged. So
Really dealing with it. No, wait, hear me. All right, sorry, sir. Hear me. Sorry. But,
You got that question?
but the issue is, what does the statute say in this case? Regrettably, in my mind, it says that for those portions of the declaration, quoting, the candidate must separately by initial.
Tim, I did talk to,
Separately initial each of the statements required by this subdivision. And I mean, I know what it means to initial. It's not a check.
okay,
I'm sorry, I'm going by law.
Thank you.
I did confer also with Brad King. He is the expert that we.
No. I don't know who deems him an expert. He just gets up, puts his pants on, and goes to work. Linda, listen, Linda, listen. He's not an expert. He's just some dude you call. You need to start calling the attorneys down there. Hey, Holly Berry or Heather Bailey, Mary Rutherford, whoever's watching this, tell Linda to start calling the attorneys, not Brad King. Nobody wants to hear from Brad King anymore. He's not an expert. He's just a guy that goes to work. She needs to call the freaking attorneys.
We would call and talk to when we had questions. And he said that he agreed that the intent was there.
The intent's there. The intent's there, baby. So Todd Culp gets to run. It just don't matter. The intent's there.
The statute says that the candidate's name, as the candidate wants the candidate's name to appear on the ballot, and you have choices of that.
Okay.
Saying aye?
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed?
Nay.
Thank you,
The motion is carried to deny the challenge.
So Tim actually agreed with Catherine there, and that was good. And I give it to him for that.
The next challenge. Next challenge is by Rebecca Crooms. And by Catherine Callahan, to John Richwine.
Hey, John Richwine.
Was made for home rules here. The county election board must follow the election laws. John Richwine failed to follow and complete the process. A completed Can-2 form was due February 9th, 2024 by noon. It is the candidate's responsibility to make sure the form is completed in its entirety.
We're almost done here,
According to
people.
Indiana Code 3-8-2-7, Section 7, subsection D, a statement of the candidate is aware of the provisions of Indiana Code 3-9 regarding campaign finances and reporting of the campaign contributions and expenditures. 2, he agrees to comply with the revisions of Indiana Code. The candidate must separately initial each of the statements required by the subdivision. Mr. Richwine has failed to initial number 13 on the Can-2 form. This fails to meet the requirements of Indiana Code 3-8-2-7, Section 7, subsection D, a statement of the candidate. Therefore, his candidacy form is incomplete as well, hence leaving him ineligible to run as a candidate in Madison County. In conclusion, he should be disqualified from the ballot. Before the vote is cast today, the people need to ask Russ Willis be removed as a vote, as he actively campaigned against John Richwine's opponent, Lisa Rinker, and was actively on numerous times asking her to withdraw from the race. With Russ Willis having such an active role in Richwine's campaign to win, he should recuse himself from this vote. Honestly, he should not be able to get to vote of any candidate in which he has been challenging. We are already aware that Mr. Richwine does not follow the reporting rules for finances. Richwine's financial forms are incomplete as well. The paperwork requires that the form is filled out completely and honestly. Richwine did not check the most important box of the whole form. The financial section, perhaps this is due to the fact that his financial reports are incorrectly filled out. He does not place addresses on those documents as required by law. The candidacy form is incomplete and he must be disqualified from the ballot. And for Russ Willis to cast a vote today shows a gross conflict of interest. This committee also is supposed to be making sure people adhere and follow campaign finance enforcement. Mr. Richwine shows a pattern that he does not fill out finance campaigns correctly. And now here we are with his candidacy form not filled out correctly. Should he pass today, anybody who has been fined or has had repercussions because forms have not been filled out correctly clearly might have a case. Today, you will show the community is correct. They have talked about ballots pre-made and not accounted for. They have struggled with the power outage of the 23 election, and suddenly when power came back on, the people who were in the lead had lost. As a matter of fact, the results were disseminated before the power came back on, which is a concern for everyone everywhere. If a
That was
person
so
forgets
wild.
to cast a vote on their ballot, do they get to take their ballot back? Or do they get to mark a different box?
Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
No, he's not. He's out of town.
So the difference with this challenge is that in fact, the form that you're talking about doesn't follow the state. It's not required to be.
You know, at this point, I'm not really sure what the law is.
I thought you had the statute.
Well, it says that you're supposed to initial each section.
Right.
That's not-
That is, ma'am, that is subsection 7
Right.
of the statute.
Mhm.
And what you're talking about, the language in number 13 tracks subsection 9,
Mhm.
okay? And subsection 9 does not require an initial.
So you don't have to fill out paperwork.
have to
You can,
certify.
you can do whatever you
You
want.
have to certify.
Okay.
And the form is signed. I certify the information in this declaration of candidacy is true and complete. And that I meet the specific requirements of this office. Signed, I believe that's Mr. Richard's signature. I don't know. It's notarized. So he certified that statement.
Okay.
The law does not require it to be initial.
Okay. So he doesn't, so I have filed campaign finances. He doesn't have to agree that he did that.
He certified, he signed, he was required to certify that statement.
But it says initial here applicable.
This is nuts, folks. This is absolutely nuts. It's gross.
Did the
It's
declaration follow the law? It did.
Okay.
Your challenge should be denied.
Okay.
I move-
yeah.
Moved and seconded to deny the challenge. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Gross,
Any
man.
opposed? Motion carried.
Absolutely gross what they've done.
The same challenge by Mr. Sean Smith. Sean here yet? Any questions?
It's
about
sad
the-
that this is what happens.
Moved to deny and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Same sign. Motion has been carried. Denied.
Damn it.
The next challenge, Catherine Callahan versus Rick Gardner. Candidate form fails to meet statutory requirement, not outlined. Candidate does not file under legal name Ricky Gardner.
Same thing goes on here.
Name is the name shown on the candidate's birth certificate. Indiana Code 3-5-7-4, candidate's legal name. If a candidate takes
3
another name through a judicial proceeding, they
3
must
minutes.
provide it.
238.
See what I mean? He's gonna, they're gonna.
So this is what's interesting is Russ said that she had been speaking for 3 minutes. Although at the same time he said begin, someone in the audience was timing her, and she had been speaking for 2 minutes and 38 seconds. So there's a discrepancy, and I think that's hilarious.
Going to do what they want. My point has been made today.
Yes. 246.
Your process in Madison County, our process in Madison County is flawed.
Right.
It's a metric, not like Russia.
Catherine did a great job today. Showing that the process is flawed. Rick Gardner came down. They're keeping Rick Gardner on the ballot. That's the bottom line. That's what's going on. It is nonsense as it is. Ladies and gentlemen, I am going to get out of here. We've been going for 2 hours and 25 minutes. I have had a long day. We've got a long day ahead of us tomorrow. We've got a long day on Wednesday. I'm going to tell you, if you want to continue seeing the hypocrisy, we're going to be talking about the state tomorrow. I'm also going to be talking about the Delaware County election. The Delaware County Council meeting will be happening tomorrow at 9 a.m. I will not be live streaming it. But we will talk about it tomorrow evening. there is a major vote that's coming tomorrow. This is the vote for the solar project. This has been kind of put on hold and everything's been out of place. Tomorrow is a major Delaware County Council meeting. For anyone that sees this and hears this, you need to attend tomorrow's Delaware County Council meeting. We will be live streaming that meeting. We will not be live streaming the meeting. We will be watching the meeting tomorrow evening and talking about it at 9. So please tune in for that. Tune in tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. for the state meeting. Tomorrow at 9 p.m. Eastern for episode 150. And then on Wednesday, we will be doing the Delaware County Part 2 meeting, so stay tuned for that. That will also be live streamed right here. I want to thank each and every one of you for watching. Please share this out there. Get this information out there. We have to get this information in front of people's eyeballs and their ear holes. It's very, 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 very important. Please correct me if I'm wrong, but Catherine's intent wasn't to kick anyone off, but to show the corruption, which she did very well. Yeah, I mean, if the election board would have kicked a couple people off because she got one person kicked off, rightfully so, but that was not her intent. Everyone wants people to run, but the intent is to show there was a lacking in the process. That's what mine has been about. It's not been about stopping people from being able to run. I want people to have choices. But I want to show the hypocrisy. I want to set a standard and start a process. And that's what this has all been about. You have absolutely been 100% correct. So you are exactly right. For security, we give up freedom, your safety. I give up no freedom. I'm secure in myself, and I don't need any person to keep me secure. So I don't give my freedoms up. I do not consent, and I will keep myself secure. Thank you. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to be working on getting these people out, and you guys need to be part of it. Help share the show, spread the word. Do us a favor, like this show, spread the message, comment, do all of that YouTube shit, buy some of our stuff, become members, do all of that stuff, and help make this channel big. That's what we're going to try to do, so that we can educate more people, because that's what it's all about. All right, you guys take care. God bless. Have a good evening. Be safe. Sleep well, and we will see you all back here tomorrow. Goodbye.